Here's something most doctors won't tell you. Nearly 40% of men over 60 who deal with varicose veins also report noticeable changes in their sexual performance. That connection isn't a coincidence, and today we're going to talk about what's really happening beneath the surface. Welcome back to Prime Health Lab. I'm here to help you understand your body better so you can make informed decisions about your health. If you're new here, we focus on practical health insights for men who want to stay strong, active, and confident at every age. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss future videos like this one. Today, we're diving into a question that doesn't get asked often enough. Is there actually a link between varicose veins and sexual health? The short answer is yes, and understanding why can help you address both issues at the same time. Let's walk through this together. Imagine a man named Robert. He's 67, still works part-time, enjoys hiking with his wife on weekends, and generally feels good about his health. But over the past year, he noticed two things. First, those twisted, bulging veins on his calves started becoming more visible and uncomfortable. Second, his ability to maintain an erection wasn't what it used to be. He didn't connect the two at first. Most men don't. Robert's story is more common than you'd think. Here's what's happening. Both varicose veins and erectile dysfunction share a root cause: poor circulation. Your veins are responsible for carrying blood back to your heart. When the valves inside those veins weaken or fail, blood starts pooling in your legs instead of flowing efficiently. That's what creates those swollen, rope-like veins you can see under the skin. Now, sexual function depends entirely on healthy blood flow. When you're aroused, blood rushes into the penis and fills the spongy tissue inside. If your circulatory system isn't working efficiently, that process becomes sluggish or incomplete. The same vascular issues that cause blood to pool in your legs can also prevent adequate blood from reaching where it needs to go during intimacy. Robert didn't realize that the heaviness and achiness in his legs after standing all day was a sign his entire vascular system was struggling. He thought the two problems were separate, but they were connected all along. The veins in your legs and the blood vessels in your pelvis are part of the same network. When one area starts failing, it often signals that other areas are compromised too. What made things worse for Robert was his lifestyle. He'd been sitting more, moving less, and carrying about 20 extra pounds around his midsection. All of that added pressure to his veins and slowed his circulation even further. He wasn't in terrible shape, but his body was sending him signals. He just hadn't learned to read them yet. The turning point came when Robert's doctor explained that improving his vascular health wouldn't just help his legs, it could also restore function in the bedroom. That's when he started paying attention. Because when you understand the connection, you realize you're not dealing with two separate problems. You're dealing with one system that needs support. Let's dig deeper into the science behind what Robert was experiencing, because understanding the mechanics will help you see why the solutions we'll talk about later actually work. Your circulatory system is like a massive highway network. Arteries carry oxygen-rich blood away from your heart to every part of your body. Veins bring that blood back. Inside your veins are tiny one-way valves that open and close with each heartbeat, pushing blood upward against gravity. When those valves weaken or stretch out, blood flows backward and pools in the lower legs. That's varicose veins. Now here's the interesting part. The same factors that damage those valves in your legs are also damaging the inner lining of blood vessels throughout your entire body. This lining is called the endothelium, and it's responsible for producing a molecule called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is critical because it relaxes blood vessels and allows them to expand. Without enough nitric oxide, your blood vessels stay constricted and stiff. This matters for sexual function because an erection requires massive dilation of blood vessels in the penis. When nitric oxide production drops due to inflammation, poor diet, inactivity, or aging, those vessels can't expand properly. The result is weak or inconsistent erections, so the same endothelial dysfunction causing your varicose veins is also affecting your sexual performance. There's another layer to this. Testosterone plays a role in maintaining healthy blood vessels and supporting nitric oxide production. As men age and testosterone levels naturally decline, vascular health often declines with it. Lower testosterone means weaker vessel walls, less efficient circulation, and reduced sexual drive. It's all interconnected. Robert's case is a perfect example of this cascade effect. His circulation problems didn't start overnight. They built up gradually over years of sitting at a desk, eating processed foods, skipping exercise, and letting stress pile up. His body adapted for a while, but eventually the system started breaking down. The varicose veins were visible evidence of invisible damage happening throughout his vascular network. Here's what most men don't realize. Varicose veins aren't just a cosmetic issue. They're a warning sign. They tell you that your circulatory system is struggling. And if blood isn't flowing properly in your legs, it's not flowing properly anywhere else either. That includes your brain, your heart, and yes, your sexual organs. The good news is that your vascular system is remarkably responsive. Unlike some organs that can't regenerate, your blood vessels can heal and improve when you give them the right support. Endothelial cells can repair themselves. Nitric oxide production can increase. Circulation can become more efficient. But it requires intentional action. Robert's doctor explained something crucial. Treating varicose veins and erectile dysfunction separately would be like patching holes in a dam without fixing the cracks in the foundation. The real solution was addressing the underlying vascular health. Once Robert understood that, everything changed. He stopped looking for quick fixes and started thinking about long-term circulatory support. So what did Robert actually do to turn things around? And more importantly, what can you do if you're noticing similar patterns in your own body? Let's walk through the practical solutions that address both issues at their root. The first change Robert made was movement. Not intense exercise at first, just consistent walking. 30 minutes every morning before work. Walking activates the calf muscles, and those muscles act like a pump that pushes blood back up toward the heart. When you're sedentary, blood sits in your legs. When you move, you're literally massaging blood through your veins with every step. Within 3 weeks, Robert noticed the heaviness in his legs starting to fade. That wasn't magic. That was circulation improving. But he didn't stop there. He added compression socks during the day, especially when he knew he'd be standing or sitting for long periods. Compression helps prevent blood from pooling by applying gentle pressure to the veins. It's a simple tool, but it works. Robert wore them during work and took them off in the evening. No big production, just consistent support for his vascular system. Next came the diet changes, and this is where things got interesting. Robert wasn't willing to give up everything he enjoyed, but he made strategic swaps. He started eating more foods rich in antioxidants and nitric oxide boosters. Leafy greens like spinach and arugula. Beets, which are packed with nitrates that convert to nitric oxide in your body. Citrus fruits for vitamin C, which strengthens blood vessel walls. Walnuts and fatty fish for omega-3s, which reduce inflammation. He cut back significantly on processed foods, especially anything high in refined sugar and trans fats. Those foods damage the endothelium and promote inflammation throughout your vascular system. Robert didn't go extreme. He just made better choices more often than not. Within 2 months, he noticed his energy was more stable throughout the day. His mood improved. And yes, his sexual function started coming back. Hydration was another piece of the puzzle. Robert had been chronically dehydrated without realizing it. He drank coffee all morning and maybe 1 glass of water by dinner. Dehydration thickens your blood and makes circulation sluggish. He started drinking water consistently throughout the day, aiming for about 8 glasses. It sounds basic, but it made a noticeable difference in how his body felt. Then there's stress management. Robert's job wasn't going anywhere, but his reaction to stress could change. Chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, which constricts blood vessels and damages vascular health over time. Robert started taking 10 minutes each morning to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and mentally prepare for his day. He also made it a point to disconnect from screens an hour before bed. Better sleep meant lower cortisol, which meant healthier circulation. One of the most surprising changes for Robert was strength training. He'd always thought cardio was king for heart health, and it is important. But resistance training, even with light weights or bodyweight exercises, stimulates testosterone production and improves vascular tone. Robert started doing squats, push-ups, and resistance band work 3 times a week. Nothing extreme, just enough to challenge his muscles and signal his body to maintain strength. After 6 months, Robert went back to his doctor. The varicose veins hadn't disappeared completely, but they were significantly less prominent and far less uncomfortable. More importantly, his erectile function had improved to a level he hadn't experienced in years. His energy was up, his confidence was back, and he understood something fundamental. His body wasn't broken. It just needed the right support. So here's what I want you to take away from this. If you're dealing with varicose veins, don't ignore them. They're telling you something important about your overall vascular health. And if you're also noticing changes in your sexual function, understand that these issues are connected. The solution isn't about treating symptoms in isolation. It's about supporting your circulatory system as a whole. Start with one change this week. Maybe it's a daily walk. Maybe it's adding more greens to your meals. Maybe it's drinking more water. Small, consistent actions compound over time. Your body wants to heal. You just have to give it the tools. If this video helped you see the connection between vascular health and overall vitality, do me a favor and share it with someone who needs to hear this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. We're building a community of men who are taking their health seriously without the hype or confusion. I'll see you in the next.
Prime Health Lab is dedicated to men's internal health. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.